Shalom. Shalom. Welcome to another Midnight Chronicles. It's me again. I'm up on the late night shift. Um, the Most High imparted to me um, some revelation concerning, and I'll try to be choice with my words. But the Most High, through His Word Yahusha, has revealed to me concerning the Lord's Supper. And it has come to my attention that not too many people understand the meaning and the concept of Yahuwah's supper, or Yahusha's supper, the Lord's Supper, when the word was mistranslated. So I want to take you to 1 Corinthians 11 and 17. And I'm going to read down to verse 34. Don't mind me. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. People, they misunderstand me because, I'm just raw and rugged. You know what I'm saying? The Most High just took me out the trenches. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in the streets all my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is a transition for me. Don't get me wrong. I've been in the church too. You know what I'm saying? I've been, in the scriptures too. But I spent most of my life in the wilderness. So it's like I'm a wild man, like John the Immerser. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been eating wild honey and locusts all my life. You know what I'm saying? Taking on the bittersweet things of life. The word, it's been good to my taste. The word says to taste and see that Yahweh is good, and I've tasted and I've seen that He is good, and I love Him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade this path for the world. I was brought on this journey to become the bridge, for the next generation. You know what I mean? To help you see and understand that it's okay to be different. You don't have to always go the way of the world. I tried all my life, following, people in the world. It didn't work out for me because the Most High had something else for me. He had a different path for me. And so I have accepted the challenge, and the Most High has put me on a path, and hopefully I'm burning the trail for guys, the younger generation, to see that, it's okay to be different. You don't gotta sell drugs, you don't gotta pack guns, you don't gotta, uh do all this hot boy stuff just to, be someone. You know what I'm saying? Because I had made a message, some years back about, them building that little juvenile correctional center. Hey, the juvenile correctional center. And it seems, that a lot of disadvantaged children, which, are mostly predominantly African or Afro-American children. Hey, lay down and be quiet. Which are predominantly Afro-American. And so you gotta look at this, that, it's not their fault that, things are the way they are, because, whenever you take away the parks, you take away, the amusement, the amusement parks, you take away certain things, which doesn't give them an avenue to drain all that energy that they have, then this is what happens. Especially with the climate that they're being raised in, with the music, which glorifies self, with the glorifies a covenant with death. That's why you see these cats wearing these hoodies with the skulls and the bones on it, because that represents death. They have made a covenant with death. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this lesson. But it's important and imperative to understand that not only is the Lord's Supper a physical uh a physical image, but it is also a spiritual image, which I believe, or which I decree, is more of a spiritual aspect than a physical, because we all understand that Hamashiach Yahusha in his word said, you clean the outside of the cup, but the inside of the cup is dirty. So a lot of people think because they eat a wafer and they drink juice, that that signifies that you know that makes them whole, or that makes them holy, or that makes them that is an act of obedience, and it's not. Even the scriptures say that obedience is better than sacrifice. I think that is in first or second Samuel 14:21, something like that. It's either chapter, I think it's first Samuel 14:21, dealing when Saul went and the Ammonites or the Amalekites, and he came back with the booty and didn't kill the king. And the Most High said that rebellion is as the spirit of witchcraft, which is going, when you go against the word, that's the spirit of witchcraft. That's what the spirit of Jezebel was about. She served pagan gods. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the stuff is put into our face, but that's a whole different message. But like I say, you have to understand that this is not a physical thing. This is a spirit. This is more spiritual than it is physical. This is what you have to understand. Just like me, I don't believe in the baptism. I mean, I mean, I ain't saying that you're not supposed to, but I believe that like, or I decree that you can go down a wet demon and come up a wet demon. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't think that baptism can save you. You know what I mean? I think that that only obedience to the word is can save you. The word didn't say that baptism was the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. It says that it says that Yahusha was the way, the truth, and the life. So you can go get baptized all you want and act as if that is a makes you saved, but it don't. Because after Yakana immersed Yahusha being obedient, once the word was immersed, baptized, then he said that Yakana said that there is one that comes after me, who his shoes I'm not worthy to untie, that when he comes, he shall baptize with fire. This is why David said that his word is like fire shut up in my bones. So this is why you have to put the word in you. This is why David said, thy word have I hid in my heart, so that I might not sin against you. This is why the word said that the word is a lamp and a path and a light unto my path. So you have to understand that it's all about the word. Only the word can save you. Only Torah can save you. That's who the word was. That's who Yahusha was the Torah. he was the Torah made flesh. You know what I mean? But back to my subject matter, which deals with the taking of the Lord's Supper. See, a lot of people take the Lord's Supper. What does he call it? He says unworthily. You know, a lot of people are taking the Lord's Supper unworthily, unworthy, unworthily. You know what I'm trying to say. I can never really, I mean, English, this is not even my real language, but you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to pronounce certain things. Unworthily. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, um, so, some people, they take it unworthily. And because they do so, then that's how they become lame in their body. And that's what we're gonna go over, and we're gonna read so that you can get an understanding. So we're gonna start. I know I be uh talking a lot, but that's just a sidebar. But now we'll get into the message. Um, so we're gonna start at verse 17. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not, that ye come together not for the better, but for the worse. For first of all, when you come together in the church or the assembly, I hear that there be divisions among you, and partly believe it. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. When you come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat Yahuwah's supper. For in eating, every one taketh before others his own supper, and one is hungry, and another is drunken. So, he's basically telling you, like, this is not the reason why you come to take the Lord's Supper. This is the same thing that I am elucidating to, as far as what the origin of the Lord of the Lord's Supper, or Adonai, or Yahusha's supper is. What have ye not houses to eat and drink in? So basically he's saying that you could do this at your own house. You could take the Lord's Supper at your own house. You don't have to be in the assembly to take the Lord's Supper. You can, break bread and drink juice by yourself. Or despise ye the church of Elohim, which is the assembly, the coming together of the brethren and the sisterin. And shame them that have not. You know what I mean? So basically, people, they'll take the Lord's Supper and think that makes them holy and better than somebody else who's not taking it, when actually the person who's not taking it is better, because they understand the reason why they're not taking it. You know what I mean? Which we'll get into later. You got to be careful about judging. You know what I mean? Because when you judge, it says the word says, "Judge not, and be ye not judged." And in order for you to judge, you gotta first take the log out of your eye before you try to take the splinter out of somebody else's eye. If you living in sin, you don't got no room or ground to be trying to correct somebody else, knowing that you living in sin too. Knowing that there's skeletons in your closet. So you don't have no room to point fingers. It's only for people who have, cleaned up their lives and took out this, have been living a holy and a righteous life, a set apart life. They not in the world going to the clubs and, going to the bars and drinking, and, they not going, they don't have stinking thinking. Not saying that they not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you can't have a drink. You know what I'm saying? You can't have wine. You can't have strong drink. It's not for the priest to drink strong drink and to drink wine. The priests are supposed to stay sober minded and vigilant. Um, for I have received of Adonai that which also I deliver unto you. What did he receive? He received the unadulterated word. Yahusha himself came to Paul when Paul was kicking against the pricks, when Paul was a murderer, when Paul was, zealous for the letter of the word, but not for the spirit, which the spirit of the word is mercy, but the letter of the word is death. So when you live by the letter, when you constantly trying to judge somebody, you know, then you're gonna be judged by the letter. You see what I'm saying? Because if you know that there's sin in your life, and then you trying to judge somebody by the letter and say this, he doing this wrong and he doing, but you got sin in your life, then you gonna be judged by the letter too. But you being in the spirit, when you're in the spirit, because the spirit is the word. The word's a spirit. That is the spirit when you're operating under the word. So when you're operating under the word and you're operating in the spirit, you're not gonna get into a crowd of people and judge somebody. If you have a brother and you know that he's operating in sin, then according to the scriptures, you are supposed to go take that brother, and this is the proper way and process of correction. You are supposed to go take that brother by himself, first of all, and correct him one-on-one. Then, you know what I'm saying, if he continues in the sin, then you are supposed to go get a witness. So now that makes two witnesses. So it's only by 2 or 3 witnesses is the word established. That's why when you go to court, they gotta have a witness against you. It can't always be by circumstantial evidence, or substantive evidence. They need a witness, or a witness or two, in order to convict you. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's the same thing with the heavenly law, with the spiritual law. You got to have 2 or 3 witnesses. So first, you go get that brother one-on-one. Then you bring a witness. Then you take him before the congregation. And if he don't correct himself before then you kick him out the congregation and leave him to himself. That is the proper way of correction according to the scriptures. And when he had given, that Adonai Yahusha, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it. So the bread, the manna, is the word. The word is the manna. The manna is the word. That is the bread. Manna is bread. That is what the unleavened bread is. You know what I mean? That's why during the feast of the feast of unleavened bread, that's what it actually represents. You getting into the word, because the word is truth and life. You know what I mean? There is no sin in the word. There is no leaven in the word. You see what I'm saying? But in the world there is leaven. A little leaven leavens the whole loaf. You see what I'm saying? So a little sin, so that's why Yahusha said, if your eye be dark, then your whole body be dark. You see what I'm saying? So if you look at things in a dark way, which basically evil, dark is symbolic to evil, or symbolic to wrong, then your whole body be filled with wrong. And when he had, so you gotta break bread every day. This has nothing to do with gathering every end of the month, 30 days. The beginning of the month, you put on a white dress and you put on and you take the Lord. That has nothing to do with it. That is a pretentious, outwardly showing of you keeping the scriptures, and it is done in the flesh. It is carnal, and you are doing things carnal minded when you're doing things according to the flesh, but in the spirit, your spirit is filthy. You talk bad about people, you gossip, and I don't want to get all into all that, but the things that you deal with. We all have those things that we deal with. You know what I mean? Like, some of us have taken the time to carry the burden and carry the cross, and allow the Most High's word to correct us, and put us on the right path, and to throw our sins into a sea of forgetfulness. You know what I mean? Because we have become subjective and submissive to the word. You see what I'm saying? And so after the same manner, also he took the cup. So, there is a cup, and in that cup is wine. The wine is the spirit. That's why, in what is it, 2 John 1, he turned water into wine. So in order for the word to turn into wine, you got to first partake of the word, the water, the breaking of the bread. And then when you do that, then it will turn into wine. Then out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. Then out of your mouth, just that's how you you know, I mean, even the devil know the word, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, when you know a person by his fruit. So if he's speaking the word and he living the word, then you know him. Because when you go read Matthew 5:5, it talks about how um I mean, not 5:5, but Matthew 5:17. Think not that I come to destroy the word, but he that is the greatest in the kingdom is he that teaches the word and does it. And the least in the kingdom is they that teach it and do it not. So you got to go read 5:17 on like 21, Matthew 5:17. But I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm just go ahead and tarry with me and travel with me. I'm taking you somewhere. After the same manner, also he took the cup when he had sipped, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye, as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me." So we got to understand that he's talking in parables. He's talking in dark saying, because we know, according to the Torah, that it is forbidden for us to eat and drink blood. So he is making a symbolic reference to, to drinking of this cup. You know what I mean? Because, to drink this cup is like drinking blood. You're drinking unworthily. You know, when you drink of this cup and you don't apply the spirit to your life, you don't live it. You just talking it, but you not living it, then you are drinking of this cup unworthily, and that's when your infirmities come up on you. That's when you are afflicted. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, and you have to understand, you do show Yahuwah's death till he comes. So when you do this, you're showing that you have died to the world, not a physical death, but you have died to the world. You're no longer living in the world. You have come from amongst them, and be ye separate, thus saith Yahuwah. So you have come out of the world, and you are living according to the word, to the spirit of the word, to the letter. Because the letter is the spirit. So you're living to the spirit of the word. So the word says, the letter says, you know, let's say thou shalt not have any other God, right? So you're not making any other God. You're living according to the spirit, that the word, because words are spirit. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words are spirit. So if the word says, thou shalt not have no other God, then you operating in the spirit know not to make anything your God. And so the word is the bread. So if you're breaking bread like every day, just like when you open your Bible, it's like breaking bread. You open that Bible, that's the breaking of the letter, breaking of the bread. Have you ever seen somebody break bread? Like when you got a buttermilk biscuit. Ooh, them soft buttermilk biscuits. Oh, got me ever feeling like home. Buttermilk biscuits. Hey, look. I'ma stop playing though. But look, have you ever broke open the biscuit, especially them Pillsbury dough biscuits after they come out, the flaky ones? Oh my goodness, with some butter in them. Oh Lord. But yeah, have you ever broke bread? And that's what the word is, man. When you break open the word, it's like breaking open the bread. Don't you take two hands and break it open, right? Okay, so then when you sitting at the table, you eating your bread, you eating your meat, you know what I'm saying, you drink your wine, because wine is also good to help digest red meat, right? You know what I mean? So you drink the wine, to digest the meat. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to tell you is the wine represents the spirit. So not only are you reading the word and breaking bread, but you're living according to the spirit of the word. That is the only way, as human beings, we can come together on any type of level, because when you look at what's going on today, the thing that's dividing us is the race. We all in a race. You know what I mean? But there's, like they say, it's only one human race, and that's what the word does, is it brings us together equally. That's how we see eye to eye. He said that to love Elohim with all your might, your soul, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And on these two laws, does all the other laws hinge. Anyway, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm just trying to show you that this Lord's Supper, that the Lord's Supper is more spiritual than it is physical. You have to be. That's why he said right here, uh, for as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he come. So you're showing that you have died to your flesh, because we die daily, right? So you die to yourself, you die to your flesh, you're living according to the word. You know, hold on, where is it at? He said it was the new, yeah. So this cup is the New Testament. And so if you go read Jeremiah 31:31, the new covenant was not uh you know uh the New Testament. The new covenant was that you had become the temple. You know what I mean? That's why when before Yahusha was crucified, he said, this building, I shall destroy it in 3 days, and shall rise, shall destroy it and rise it in 3 days. But because we are so carnal minded, they thought that he was talking about a building, a building built with man's hands, but he was talking about himself, his temple, because he had become the temple, which is where the spirit lies, which is where the spirit abides at. Great is he that is in me than he that is in the world. We have these treasures, and for we have these treasures in hidden vessels. So you have to understand that. Look at, man. Um, hold on. So you have to understand that the new covenant was more significant to the spiritual operation of the covenant. Keeping the word within you. Uh, putting the word in you and walking the word out. You know what I mean? Living the word more than just showing that you look like you live the word. Because we dress like it. And I'm only saying this because I've been to church. I grew up in the church. And I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying that is not the true definition of what holiness is. To be set apart. It does not mean you putting on a white dress or you putting on all white. That and you treat your brother like trash. You know what I mean? You see a stranger and struggling and in need, but you don't help them. And then this is the reason why people wonder why they can't be promoted. The word of the Most High says it's always better to give than it is to receive. And you gotta understand, see, that's why most people lose out on their blessings, because they stingy. They always trying to keep it to theyself, but you can't take it to the grave with you. When you die, they gonna add it all up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your family don't even get it. Sometimes it go to the hands of another man, or the hands of somebody else. Tell me I'm lying. So you can't take these material things to the grave. And this is what the word is talking about, that, the keeping of the covenant is more spiritual than it is physical. The new covenant has to do it, and you have to understand, in Hebrew, there is no such thing as new. There is renewed. So the covenant was renewed again, as it has always been renewed. I'm almost done. And I'm gonna show you in a few more texts what I mean. For as often as you eat this bread and drink, okay, I read that. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of Yahuwah unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of Yahuwah. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drink unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. So this is why, you're bringing down, when you say you serve Elohim, when you say you serve Jesus, when you say you follow God and you follow Jesus, but you out here preaching his word. You out here telling the good news, speaking the good news, but you not living it. And that's what bring damnation up on your body. This is why a lot of people are sick in their body. Because they're drinking of the cup and eating of the bread unworthily. Meaning they're not keeping the word. Meaning they're not living the word. They like to say, I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes and all of this other. No, we all sin and fall short of the glory of God in time past. But when, will you come to a point to where you stay holy? You can't stay holy because you trying to mix in with the crowd. You trying to fit in with the crowd. And yeah, it's lonely, on this side. It's lonely. It's a lonely path being holy. Holy means to be set apart. But I'm tempted every day. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I fight temptation every day. You know what I mean? And the only thing that keeps me from going is the word. That is my boundary. My principles, my standard. Matter of fact, I'm going to read something for you. So this is why you bring damnation up on yourself. So we're going to go to Matthew 4. Matthew 4 and 4. 4 in Hebrew means door. So 4 and 4, the door was open. This is when Yahusha went into the wilderness. We're gonna start at 1 though. 4 and 1. Then was Yahusha led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So this is after he was baptized by Yakanah, the immerser. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the son of Elohim, command thee these stones be made bread. So you have to look at it like this. A person will do anything when he's hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the famine comes up on the land and there's no food to eat, man, you're going to see a lot of people going to become cannibals. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but it's coming. You know what I mean? When the famine is in the earth, you know what I'm saying? When inflation is so high, you can't even buy food. You know what I'm saying? What you know, when you hungry, there's no limit to what you would do. You know what I'm saying? And what about when you just got people just intentionally starving you out so that they can bring chaos? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even go there, man. I'm you know that you don't gotta believe what I say. Um, so when you hungry, you'll do whatever. And when the tempter came, that's when the tempter come. When you hungry, when you without food, when you without a job, you can't pay your bills. You know, you looking for where your next meal going from. This is when the tempter come. The tempter come to get you to break the commandments, to break the Torah. And this is what he was trying to get Yahusha to do, was break the commandments. This is what was going on in the wilderness. The wilderness is a dry place, a place of nothing. See, a lot of people don't want to go through the wilderness. That's why when the Israelites came out of Egypt and they was in the wilderness, they complained to Moses, talking about, man, why you bring us out of Egypt? We want to go back into Egypt where we was eating leeks and onions, and they were satisfied there, comfortable. They didn't want to come out of their comfort zone. A lot of people don't want to come out of comfort. It's comfortable. They love comfortability, where it's easy. So he said, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Elohim. So, as usual, I always show you that the Old Testament is not done away with. Because you have right here written in red in what y'all call the so-called New Testament, written in red, Yahusha quoting the Torah. And I'm finna show you. We're going to go to Deuteronomy. Bear with me. Deuteronomy 8 and 8. Make sure. I think it's 8 and 4. So it says 8 and 4. Thy remnant waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so Yahuwah thy Elohim chasteneth thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his way and to fear him. For Yahweh thy Elohim bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring up out of the valley and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vine and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are in iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless Yahweh thy Elohim for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not that Yahweh thy Elohim, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command ye this day, lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold multiply, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and droughts, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of a flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna. It's all tying in, ain't it? Which thy father knew not, that he might humble thee and that he might prove thee to thee good at this latter end. And thou sayest in thy heart, my power and my might and my hand have gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember Yahweh thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth the power to get wealth, that he may establish the covenant which he swore unto the fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget. Hold on, let me go back. Excuse me. Bear with me. Hold on just a minute. I might have to look it up. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back to my verse where I was. Okay, so hold on. Hey, no, no, no. Hey, I said no. Lay down. Lay down. What did I just say? Okay, I had it. It was 8:3. And humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy father know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh do man live. So that's what Yahusha was quoting. He was quoting from the Torah, the first 5 books. And this is just, me trying to help you see that the Old Testament and the New Testament correlate, support each other. It has not been done away with. Let me go back to Matthew, and then we're gonna look up the second one, Temp. I was talking to someone today about no, it was yesterday. I was talking to this guy, his mother. I was talking to her about these same things. Hold on just a minute. Matthew 4:4. And so man shall not live by bread, and again, as I've expounded on this word before, uh, when I was growing up, we called bread money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go get this bread. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we call money. And so when he say take these stones and turn it into bread, he was trying to tell him to take the word, to misuse the word, to misappropriate the scriptures, which is what a lot of people do, is misappropriate the scriptures for their own self gain, and then say God know my heart. Yeah, he really do know your heart. He know that you don't care for his word. Because if you care for his word and you trusted in him and believe that he was Yahweh Jireh, or which in English they call Jehovah Jireh, your provider, then you wouldn't be out here doing half the things that you was doing. I wouldn't have been out here doing half the things that I was doing. But when the word is not brought forth properly and correctly, and you have no understanding of the word, then you just do whatever. And that is confusion. And the Most High is not the author of confusion. We know who is the author of the confusion. The devil is. So then the devil taketh him up into the holy hill, holy city, and sitteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and say unto him, if thou be the son of Elohim, cast down thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thy dash thy foot against a stone. And this is what Yahusha replied to the devil. Because the devil is the ruler of the earth. He's the ruler of this kingdom, so he's gonna always tempt you to go against the Most High's word. You see what I'm saying? That's why it says he comes as a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. You see what I'm saying? Because in getting you to turn from his word, from the word, he can devour you. See, when I was young and I didn't have no understanding and I didn't know no better, it was easy for me to turn my back on the word. But now that I know better, I do better. I stay as close to him as possible. Cause I know if I get anywhere, if the enemy can draw me anywhere, draw me from him, then he can try to take my life. And I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay as I'm gonna stay as close as I can to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hide myself in his pavilion. Like a chick that hides up under the wing of his of his parent. I'm gonna stay up under his wing, because in his wing is security, in his wing is protection. In under his wings and his pavilion is his provision. So he said, unto him it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy Elohim. So now let's go there. He said, thou shalt not tempt. This is in the Torah. I don't want to call it the Old Testament. It's not the Old Testament. It is the Torah. Let's put everything in its proper perspective. Let's put everything in its proper context. It is not called the Old Testament. It is called the Torah. Deuteronomy 6:16. For Yahweh thy Elohim is a jealous Elohim among you, lest the anger of Yahweh thy Elohim be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Ye shall not tempt Yahweh your Elohim as you tempted him in Massa. So he's telling him to throw himself off of this rock. So we understand that he took him up on a high hill, which the hill represents Moriah, represents the teaching. So he was telling him to throw himself off of the teaching. So he trying to throw you off of the teachings. That's what the devil's whole objective is to throw you off of the teachings, off of Torah. You stinky, Putin. So his whole objective is to throw you off. So and I'm about to show you. I'm gonna read this for you one more time. For Yahweh thy Elohim is jealous Elohim among you, lest the anger of Yahweh thy Elohim be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Now let me show you why he jealous. Let me show you. Jealous? Let me show you why he jealous, man. You know what I'm saying? Because see, it is really precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a bit, here a little, there a little. So we're gonna go to Exodus 20, and we're gonna go to verse 4. And when you get time, you can go read, Deuteronomy 20 by yourself. Because I remember when I was in church, you know what I'm saying? And I used to ask the Most High, man, where is I'm going wrong? Because, I'll be in church for a little bit, then I'm back in the streets. I'll be in the church for a little bit, then I'm back in the streets. And I just came to the conclusion, I was baffled, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man, I want to know the truth. Why I keep falling off? Why I can't live correctly? Why I can't, why am I tossed like a ship to and fro, double-minded? And so, the first place, he used to always take me back to here, to Exodus. And I didn't understand then, because, I was under depression when, I was in the Christian church, you know what I'm saying, that, we wasn't up under the Old Testament anymore. We was up under the New Testament. And according to the New Testament, you could just do whatever you wanted to, and all you have to do is ask for forgiveness. And that's not the way the Most High works. When you commit a sin again, when you transgress the law of the Torah, that's like committing adultery. It is committing adultery for the man when he goes outside of the Torah. You know what I mean? It's deep. Can't I ain't gonna even get into that. But thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, thy Elohim, am a jealous God. So when the devil was telling him to throw himself off of the mountain to tempt him, this is what he was saying. Because the hill represents the teachings. This is the teachings. The commandments are the teachings, the instructions. We, especially Afro-Americans, have a problem with following instructions. Visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me. So when you don't keep his word, that shows him you hate him, and you wonder why our children are out here in the streets falling victim to senseless crimes. This is why. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love him, and what? Keep his commandments. Can you dig it? Man, I'm gonna get out on that note, man. I've been on here too long, man. Shalom. May Yah bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift his countenance upon you and give you peace, that the name of Yudevave might be known in the children of Yasharel. Shalom. Hallelujah. All praises be to the Most High. Glory to the Holy One of Israel, of Yasharel, who is, was, and is to come, the Aleph and the Tav. Shalom.